I want to talk to you guys about Black Friday. We're kind of mentioning, you guys are talking about Black Friday. You're telling me your stories, and the Black Friday is actually really, really interesting this year because it was a bit of an economic data roller coaster, you might call it. Because there's a lot of competing narratives going around, and everybody wants to use Black Friday data to confirm their priors. So let's go into this roller coaster real quick. First of all, Black Friday used to be, in my mind, when I think of Black Friday, I think of my childhood, which is not the 1920s. It's only actually a few decades ago. And I think of like this. This is my mind of Black Friday.
Happy holidays, Rick. And to you, my friend.
Like, I think stampedes. I think people dying. I think moms killing each other for $50 off a TV. That's what I think of Black Friday. I think of the big, massive crowds. I think of people skipping Thanksgiving to line up outside of Best Buy.
Thanksgiving and Black Friday seem to go hand in hand. In fact, a lot of people here at Best Buy skip the traditional Thanksgiving meal to camp out here to take advantage of Black Friday deals. If you will take a look at this line, it wraps all the way around the building. Some of these people have been here for hours. Some people have spent a night or two.
Dude, I saw a Twitter post that said, I'm not going to a bigger discussion here, but I saw someone saying, like, this Black Friday was great until capitalism ruined it. You can have your own stance on capital. This is also part of the... Anyway, so if you flash forward to this Black Friday, what you saw was far different from this. What you saw was empty stores. A lot of empty stores. Barely changed foot traffic from outside of Black Friday weekend, like just normal foot traffic. And it was the least observed foot traffic on Black Friday in more than 15 years. Excluding pandemic, down 25%. And so again, I talked to my friend who worked Black Friday. He was at our Thanksgiving that we hosted, and he's like, yeah, I have to get up at 6 a.m. tomorrow to do my shift at Home Depot. It's gonna be crazy Black Friday. And then he messaged me later and said, it was busy for maybe 30 minutes, then it fell off a cliff. As busy as an average day of work, maybe a little slower. Rest in peace, brick and mortar, we knew ye well. And then, when people got to Black Friday, they noticed that the in-person deals weren't all they were cracked up to be.
This is the Black Friday deal. $15.98 for this 40-gallon, right? Behind it, it's cheaper. They are scamming us, guys. This is Sam's Club.
Not just Sam's Club, but over here on Home Depot. Again, person I talked to, Home Depot.
Home Depot Black Friday sales. $39.88. $39.88. $9.88. $9.88.
No sales.
$5.88.
So people were a little bit disappointed. If you're thinking of these competing narratives, you're like, wow, I remember Black Friday having huge crowds. Now there's no crowds. Is this a recession indicator? Is Black Friday dead? Well, a counterpunch came in. People just shopped online. The truth is, the thing that killed Black Friday may not be the economy, or maybe the whole thing. Maybe it's just the digital realm. People don't want to go in person. They can get all the deals online now. It's been like that for a while, but this year was particularly egregious. Black Friday online sales hit a record 11.8 billion. They rose 10.4% this year. This is a knockout punch. The economy is saved. 10% rise. In-store sales, 1.7%. Again, not adjusted for inflation, so we'll talk about that in a bit, but this is overall a good sign. Things are saved. Things are good. Retail sales are up despite economic jitters. And I want to present this. I want to talk about Black Friday. I think it's interesting because this is a theme running through a lot of my content in this past week or two. I've just felt this a lot. I'm trying to verbalize it now, okay? There's been like this narrative struggle back and forth on social media and in mainstream press and on YouTube and all this. There's this narrative struggle. And on one side, there was this concept of a vibe session. And I think for me personally, it's been one of the most frustrating ideas out there, most cancerous, frustrating ideas. It's this idea that it's all vibes. Things are actually good and that the people's vibes are just down because of social media and that everybody's actually doing pretty well. It can spend like crazy, okay? There's this vibe session. On the other side is 1,000 videos on the Big A channel that I'm just pumping out nonstop. And there's like this tug of war between this is 1 year ago. I'm thinking back to 1 year when I really started doing all this content. And then By March, the vibe session was back. There's a new vibe session. The vibes are back down again after Trump got elected, and yet it's still just vibes. And the concept of that is this, okay? This is consumer confidence. Basically, since COVID, it's been in free fall. It's been plummeting, dude. It's been horrendous. And now we're at essentially all-time lows. Consumers are basically screaming that they're not happy. Looks like this. Actually, it is all-time lows. I'm sorry. It is all-time lows since they started doing this survey. So lower than the Great Recession, the consumer confidence at 50.8. We've had these consistent downturns. People are upset. They're mad, yada, yada, yada. If you ask them, do you think your paycheck will keep pace with rising prices? They say no. They say prices are going to rise faster than wages. This spike is since tariffs. 61%. Highest it's ever been. If you ask them, will business conditions get worse in the next year? That just hit all-time highs. So people are saying, they're screaming that they have economic problems, and some people call it a vibe session, and that's one thing that I felt really strongly to push against. However, let's be honest, I kind of want to say since Trump built the ballroom, but at least since like November, and like this month of November, the tug of war here has shifted. The tug of war has shifted way over this way. And now it's pretty mainstream to think this. Like the middle class is buckling under almost 5 years persistent inflation. Again, the Wall Street Journal was one of like the big proponents of it's all just vibes. The Wall Street Journal had an op-ed saying like the affordability crisis is a hoax. It's all made up and like you could. So now everyone's saying economic anger once again punishes the party in power. November 5th this year, November 21st this year. Scraping for crumbs, November 24th this year. So people are saying this now. So it's like, I don't really, honestly, it's like, all right, I'll talk about something else. But then this Black Friday thing happened and I wanted to bring something back because this was the counterpunch. The Black Friday numbers came in and all of a sudden the tug of war pushed all the way back over this way. For some people, retail sales are up despite economic jitters. The US consumer has resilience, huge resilience because of Black Friday sales. Donald Trump came out and used the website justthenews.com/nation/economy. A real viable source to say, you know, poised to be the first $1 trillion season because of artificial intelligence. He's pushing that the economy is great. And it's back to being the vibe session, okay? And this, you might see repeated on Fox News. So you pull open Fox News after Black Friday and you're seeing stuff like this.
The fact is that we just had the best Black Friday that we've ever seen. And it's not just because people are out there, you know, taking debt on their credit cards. It's because incomes are way up under President Trump. They dropped about $3,000 a person, $6,000 a family under Joe Biden, and it's up $1,500 a person so far this year. And with all that extra money and with the government shut down over so people feel comfortable going back to stores, that we're seeing a really blowout, Thanksgiving and Christmas coming our way. I think all the retailers expect that both online and in-store sales are going to be the highest we've ever seen. And the point is that that's happening even though inflation is way, way down under President Trump. And it was 5-10% under Biden, and right now it's running at about 2.5%. And it's way lower than wage growth. Right? And so people's incomes are going up by way more than inflation. And that's why we're seeing these blowout sales.
So again, I know some people are like, we get your stance on this. You know, you don't need to pull the tug of war anymore. But then I see something like that and it makes me furious all over again. I hear this guy, and this is not nobody, right? This is an important guy. This is Kevin Hassett. In fact, I think Kevin Hassett knew what he was doing when he went on Fox News this past weekend and said this, because right after he did this interview, Donald Trump said, I've made my choice for who's going to lead the Federal Reserve when he gets rid of Jerome Powell in early next year. He says, I know who I'm going to pick. We'll be announcing it. And if you check Polymarket right after this, guess who's number one? It's Kevin Hassett. This guy's almost certainly going to replace Jerome Powell because he's out here hustling, talking about how inflation is down and Black Friday is great and times are good. And this article is 3 hours ago. This is all happening live. He's saying everything is so great. And then I see, these MAGA accounts probably based in Myanmar or something, but just in. The so-called experts ate a giant slice of humble pie. The White House came out and confirmed what doomers swore was impossible. We just had the best Black Friday we've ever seen. Retailers expect both online and in-store sales hit the highest ever. America thrives when Trump leads, the numbers don't lie, let him choke on it. Okay, so that's the new narrative, is perhaps these articles were wrong. The Big A channel was wrong for a year. This is all, the consumer's actually strong as hell. Because that gets my haunches up and I want to talk about it, let's go into it. Let's see if we can break it down. First things first, if we're just starting from square one, we need to prove or disprove the idea that if Black Friday sales are up, does that mean things are okay, right? Does that mean we can't have like a recession, right? So I did a quick check. I went back to 2001, the dot-com bubble and recession, and I checked how did their holiday sales do? I'm sorry, 2000, the one right before. It was great, blowout. We had a blowout holiday season right before 2001. People were buying the Nokia phones, the PS2s, the Motorola talkabouts. Okay, things were great. So at the very least, it doesn't, like in that situation, it didn't disprove it. I went back to 2007. We had a blowout holiday season in 2007, right before the 2008 recession. People bought doorbuster specials at Best Buy, including the Xbox 360, the brand new iPhone, the video iPod, a DVD copy of Shrek the Third and Transformers and the Wii, okay? People spent like crazy, even as, you know, there was a lot of doom and gloom going into this 2007 holiday season. People were like, wait a minute, things are kind of shaky. Is retail system down? No, they spent like crazy. So at the very least, there's a counterfactual here, which is like, if they were purely up, that would still not be a strong piece of evidence. It doesn't disprove the chance things get worse. But there's more. That's just the beginning. Because what was that key part that he said in that speech?
It's not just because people are out there, you know, taking debt on their credit cards. It's because...
Okay. He's right. They're not just taking debt on their credit cards. And why is that? You know it. It's because we're so much far beyond credit cards, baby. We've got so many more options. Credit cards are old school. We got buy now, pay later, baby. Now, the fact is, whether it's credit cards, whether it's buy now, pay later, whether it's like a HELOC out of your home equity, whatever it is, Americans are saving less than they have in a long, long time. We're at a low personal savings rate. It's been trending down for a very long time. We had a massive spike during COVID. That's when everyone felt like they had more money and they're a little bit flush. And now they've evaporated those savings and they're back to a relatively low, lower than pre-COVID savings rate. Okay, so buy now, pay later is the name of the game. And what's interesting is I decided to look at the buy now, pay later data from this Black Friday. So Black Friday sales are breaking records. We know that. However, according to the same company that gave us this data, they also said many shoppers are relying on buy now, pay later. How many? So remember, online sales rose 10.4%, while buy now, pay later plans had an 11% increase. That's interesting. So we had 11% increase in buy now, pay later and a 10% increase in online sales, 20 billion online through BNPL. Additionally, while most BNPL users are Gen Z and millennials, that's where you may even say the bottom end of the K are spending, we are seeing even elderly people start to use it. Someone in our Discord dropped this little story. I went to visit my parents. They're on the older side. One of them had 7 active Affirm loans. She thought they were 0%. They were over 30%. And this is what's interesting about this year. And this is why we've talked about BNPL for a while. With the huge surge in BNPL for this holiday season, making up a big part of this retail boost, is extra spooky because this year is the first year that it's going to reflect in your credit score. For the first time, BNPL missed payments or non-payments starting this holiday season reflect your credit score. So everyone that makes these huge holiday splurges around Thanksgiving and Christmas will in early 26 start to feel that. That's going to start to actually be reflected. 41% of BNPL users made late payments in this past year. And now, as of this Thanksgiving, we are seeing a rise in high-income borrowers, men, young people, and parents of young kids. It's like half the country. So it's a huge underpinning in this so-called retail sales surge. People are shopping online, they're using a lot more BNPL, and they're saving less money than they have in a very long time. Rich people, the top end of this K, we've talked about the K-shaped economy for a while, are the ones spending. If you break down again this retail sales boost, a large part of the extra spending is coming from people who are relatively well off, people who have assets. Home prices are up, stocks are up, they're feeling good, they're spending like crazy. Everyone else is cutting corners. Now, it's interesting they use Target in this photo because that is poorly chosen because Target has done absolutely dog shit this year. Target has done horribly people aren't shopping at Target. They had a terrible Black Friday, online and in person. All of their customers, even the wealthy ones, are shifting to Walmart. Walmart is getting a bump from a surprising cohort, wealthier shoppers. Walmart sees higher income shoppers as a key to holiday sales growth. A growing number of affluent customers are shopping at discount stores. Wealthy people, I'm not saying the wealthiest, I'm not saying Jeff Bezos here, but people who were upper middle class are now trading down from Target or higher end stores to Walmart to look for deals as the top end of the cake gets a thinner and thinner slice. Finally, I want to talk about the third part of this headline number. Again, I just have this big drive to look into so-called good headline numbers and see like what is really propping up this confident claim you're making. So Reuters, this is the big headline that Fox News is talking about. AI helps drive record 11.8 billion in Black Friday online spending. It is a record, and I guess AI helped. I looked into this, and all I could see was like Amazon Rufus, and I think Walmart had like an AI assistant. I don't know if they actually helped. I mean, did any of you use Rufus? Rufus is like the little dog that talks to you when you're shopping on Amazon and tells you to buy things. I don't know if that changed people's shopping habits. It's possible that's part of it. That feels like a narrative, right? Okay, so I'm reading this article and it's like the headline's like, wow, that's pretty good. It means AI is super helpful and everyone's spending more. But if you scroll down, it's a long article. They kind of bury the lead because the most important line of this article comes like 3/4 down. And it's this. Okay, so actually consumers purchased fewer items than last year. Prices went up by 7%. People actually bought less stuff. Like this Black Friday, people are just buying fewer things, but they cost more. So of course the headline number of spending will be higher. But like this really changes everything. Like this is an entirely different story. And especially because if you're claiming a certain level of inflation, but we're seeing 7 to 9% rises on Black Friday items, then it's at least on those items are seeing much higher than wage growth inflation. So adding this all up, we saw like three major things here, right? We saw the headline number was seemingly mostly driven by a top end of the K spending. It's driven by inflation on the prices rather than increase in goods sold. And there's debt. The consumers at the bottom end, like the millennials, Gen Z, younger, are using a lot more buy now, pay later, credit card, next thing. So when you factor those three things in, I would just say that this narrative is a lot shakier than this picture would have you believe. That's all I want. I just find it to be frustrating, this concept of telling people how there is no inflation, things are great, it's all up. However, there was some good news on this Black Friday, and I want to leave that some bad, I don't want to be all bad. There was some good news. First of all, Starbucks has had a long struggle in terms of trying to crush any and all union activity. Starbucks has been trying to crush their employees union for a very long time. And this Black Friday, they are currently having their most successful strike yet. This is the biggest and most impactful and longest lasting Starbucks strike they've ever had. And on Black Friday, they expanded it to more than 120 stores. Currently at 65, they doubled it on Black Friday. So they're making a real, finally significant progress on their attempts to strike against Starbucks, which is a good thing because Starbucks, again, has done a lot of like shady anti-union stuff. It should be your right as a worker to bargain collectively, to get the value that you deserve. That should just be right. The idea that we have these weird laws where you can only make a union per individual store, you can't do it as all Starbucks employees, it's insane. There's so many ways the legal system like prevents you from just getting your market worth by bargaining collectively. It's insane. So I think this is cool, and this was a good piece of news. Secondly, TVs were cheaper. I gotta mention it, okay? At the end of the day, prices on a lot of things went up, prices on TVs went down. People got good deals on TVs. If there's one thing our society has gotten really good at, it's getting you a big flat screen at a pretty good price. And I can't let that be unsaid. TVs have been cheaper and they got cheaper this Black Friday. If you want a big TV, you're probably in a good spot. And the third thing is not only were TVs cheap, America loves making good deals for TVs. And there was one truly great Black Friday deal. And I'd be remiss if I just did the bad part of Black Friday and didn't mention there was a truly great Black Friday deal, AKA the Walmart Mac Friday deal, where they made a gigantic TV-sized mac and cheese that contains 64, I think, 65 different boxes of mac and cheese. This sold out in seconds. A truly great deal. The system is saved. George Washington died for this. So listen, there's two different sides of this coin for Black Friday, but I just don't want you to get caught up in some headline numbers or headline. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a deeper dive so you can talk with a little more confidence about what's going on with Black Friday so we hear what you see. Thanks for watching.